Happy New Year, Van Heist! So good to have you back. Okay, let's get into art. A couple weeks ago, I asked you for your winter break art assignment to go outside and create a snow sculpture. Now, we talked a little bit about the differences between a sculpture and like a picture or a drawing. A sculpture is three-dimensional. You can feel it and you can see it all the way around. That's what we're going to be focusing on today. For inspiration for this project, we're looking at the artwork of a sculpture artist named Eva Rothschild. Now, what she creates are these large-scale sculptures that usually look kind of like they're made out of sticks or pipes. Oftentimes they're very colorful. Some of them kind of remind me of spiders. But I think her artwork is awesome. It's really playful. It reminds me of some sort of jungle gym or playground equipment that would be a lot of fun to play on. But her artwork can be found all over the world. This is a picture of one of her pieces that exists in the Minneapolis Sculpture Garden. And a sculpture garden is a really neat place where it's pretty much a giant field full of large sculptures that you can walk around and explore. So we're not going to be making artwork quite as big as Eva Rothschild, but I want to show you how you can use paper to create your very own indoor sculpture garden. So we're going to need some scissors, and we're going to need some paper and a pencil, and that's about it. Let's get started. All right, I'm so excited to try and make an Eva Rothschild sculpture of my own. So we're going to be making some tabletop paper sculptures. Now, we'd mentioned this past week how the main difference between something that is like a drawing and something that is a sculpture is that one is three-dimensional, or you can see it from different sides, and another is two-dimensional. That really means that you can only see it from one side. When you look at it like this, it's pretty much flat. When you look at it like this, you can't really see the full picture. It's meant to be viewed from one side, whereas a sculpture can be viewed from many sides. So normally when we think of paper, we think of something that is two-dimensional, like this red piece of paper here, but we're actually going to turn this into a 3D sculpture. So you can really use any paper for this. White paper, notebook paper, wrapping paper. I even have a cereal box here that I was going to get rid of, but I might see how this works as a sculpture as well. So what I'm going to do is this. This paper right now, I think I'm going to cut this one down because I want this to be kind of small. I'm actually going to fold this paper in half. So I'm going to try to make two little sculptures out of this paper. Once I open it back up, I should have a nice crease there, and I can cut along that crease with my scissors. All right. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take this piece of paper. I'm going to start with this one. This is going to be my first Eva Rothschild sculpture. And I'm going to fold it in half just like this. Then, I'm going to take, whoops. I'm gonna make sure those corners are lined up. Then I'm gonna take my pencil, and I want you to make sure you know where the folded line is. You can open it up and double check that's where my fold is. If it's helpful, you can kind of flip it this way like you're reading a book. Now I'm gonna make some lines with my pencil, and I want these lines to start at the bottom of my book, and they're gonna end not quite at the edge. See that folded edge? If it's helpful, you could take a ruler and make a little line right along this edge with your pencil. That way I know that I want my lines from the bottom to stop right there. I'll show you what I mean. I'll make my first line just like this, nice and small. Up and over. You see that? Now I'm gonna make another line that kind of mimics that one. Up and over. All right, so now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna make cuts along each of these lines, but remember, I don't wanna cut past that long straight line. I wanna be very careful to stop my scissors right there. I think it's gonna be easiest to start with this outside line. And while you're cutting, make sure that you're cutting both pieces of the paper, not just one. We want to keep this folded, and we're gonna cut both at the same time. Here I go, nice and slow. Snip, snip, snip. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our little book. Wow, you see it almost looks like we've got all these little legs. It kind of reminds me of a spider. We're going to start to fold these legs any which direction we want. I'm gonna fold this one this way, and I'll fold this one this way. What we want is for these legs to kind of be jetting out at different angles to sort of create some kind of sculptural design. Do you see how it's now standing on its own? Here, I'll bring my camera down so you can see that. Whoa, this is getting pretty interesting. I'm gonna keep on folding those legs in different directions. Wow, that is a pretty interesting paper sculpture. I really like how the light is hitting it. Some areas look dark while other areas look light. I almost wish I was a teeny tiny little person that could climb inside. Wouldn't this be a fun playground to play on? Now, something about the artist's work that we saw in those photos is her work is usually not just one color. She usually has a lot of different colors. So if you want to add something like stripes or polka dots to this, you definitely could. You can make really big ones. You can make teeny tiny ones. You could try taking a smaller piece of paper and doing the same thing. Maybe I'll see what happens when I do that. I'm gonna set this one aside, this paper sculpture, and I'm now going to try and make another one, but with smaller paper. Here I go. Wow, that one looks pretty cool. Did you notice how I made different cuts on this one? I wanted to make them really angular, so I went zip, zip with a hard corner instead of these ones that were kind of sloopy like this. And there you have it, my very own Eva Rothschild mini tabletop sculpture garden. You can see I've added a few characters to sort of make it feel like it was a large scale sculpture outside, but since it's inside, I decided just to grab some toys and make it feel like it was something big you could walk through and play on. I hope you have fun creating these awesome paper sculptures. I think it's so cool how we can take something that's 2D, like paper, and turn it into something that is 3D or can be viewed from many sides, like this type of fold and cut sculpture. Hope you have a great time with this, Van Heist. I can't wait to see what you create. Have fun sculpting, and we'll see you next time.